Right, hello everyone, welcome back for part 2, the Rainbow Gelgit. Now we are going to start again with the same colours. So here's the red, I'm going to lay down the red. Now the reason I'm using a very specific order in terms of colours is because every colour spreads in a different way. And because I use acrylics, there are certain colours, pop that bubble, that behave in difficult to manage ways, and red is one of them. Red is an extremely spreading colour. It's actually very hard with acrylics to find a red that stays red. It spreads so much that it almost always comes out pink, and well, anyone knows if you're trying to create a crease with colours in, it's extremely frustrating to know that you have a colour there that just comes out far lighter than you want. So because red is the most spreading, I generally tend to try and put it on first, because as you will see as I add more paint, it gets squeezed into veins, and that's what keeps a nice intense colour. Now I'll do some yellow. The ultramarine blue is a slightly different issue. It's not so much a spreading paint, but a transparent paint, and so that makes it very light. So again, that's going on second because I want it to be compressed to get a darker, more intense blue. Well, the blues are slightly different. Prussian blue, for instance, that's quite a lovely intense one. Doesn't spread that much. But in the case of doing this rainbow, I want a nice bright blue rather than an extremely intense, deep blue like a Prussian. Now, it's quite easy to overload with colours. You have to be careful. See, the purple doesn't spread that much, but what you might notice is as I flick, it's often worth waiting for the paint to bloom, because you may find that it's travelling in a way that you don't expect, much further than you were expecting. Now I think I might do some slightly larger drops of this, because it's, as you notice with the purple, if you do small amounts of paint, it really doesn't spread much at all. It just stays into tiny little blobs like that, which is not what we want. We want enough paint to get a nice purple impact when we do the Gelgit, because otherwise we just end up with tiny little blobs of paint, which is not, gives a very different effect. Now, a couple more bits there, and onto our orange. Now each marbler has a slightly different paint application technique, shall we say. I like to tap the paintbrush on my finger and move around. Some marblers will tap from the top. I actually find that really uncomfortable, so I don't do that. And some marblers will literally just flick, which is immensely messy, and because I work in a very confined small area, I choose not to do that technique, otherwise I'd probably spend the rest of my life trying to clean up all the paint splatters from everywhere. Right, so here's our green. Again, being quite gentle with how much green I'm applying. It's like a largish blob there, but actually you can see, because there's a lot of paint on, it's shrinking back again. We need to be careful we don't add too much. Okay, I think that's alright for now. Right, we can do our Gelgit now, because we are doing a pattern that ends up in this direction. To do our Gelgit, we are going to finish up so it ends up in this direction. Now Gelgit normally is done twice in order to get nice fine lines. You don't have to, you can do it just once, and that ends up with quite a different effect and very attractive in its own way. So we're going to start off doing top to bottom, and then I'm going to do left to right. Nice smooth movements back and forth through the paint, and you can see the paint just moving with the stick. So that would be if you did it once. You can see actually that's quite attractive. I'm going to do it again. And there we are. We draw it through the paint. The paint follows the movement of the stylus. And this is why you need a thicker size to work on, because if you try to do that on top of water, even if you got the paints to float, you'd find that there'd be so much movement that you would actually lose the pattern. Right, okay, I think that's pretty good. Right, I'll get the sheet of paper. Nice and smooth. There we are. Sure those corners are in. And there we go. There is our rainbow Gelgit. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!